Hello, this is Ray Garrett, and this tutorial is on using our vendor source RedCarpet in order to send our paperwork package, or rather the login to get to our paperwork package, to new agent candidates. Again, this is Ray Garrett, and I thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Hopefully it's helpful. Please feel free to watch it as many times as necessary. First, I'd like to introduce you to the URL that you'll need to be able to log into the RedCarpet system. It is different than the URL that you use to join Zip Realty and fill out your own paperwork. So make sure you make note of the URL here at the top. So you'll have a username and password, and if you've just filled out RedCarpet paperwork for yourself, it's the same username and password. If you do log in and you happen to see the portal that you completed paperwork yourself, it means some settings need to be changed at our corporate location. So make sure you speak to our HR coordinator to make sure that happens for you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is log in. And once you log in, you're going to notice that my page is probably going to look a little different from your page. My page is the admin page, but the concept is the same. So what you'll want to notice over here is you probably won't have the reports and all this good stuff, but you will have the first three things. Now there are lots of tabs here that we can connect with. Right now we're on the Home tab, and this tab is important because all of the candidates that you enter information in for will be located here, and you'll be able to see how far along in the process they are and what percentage of the tasks they've completed at any given time. So the first thing that we're going to do is do the same thing we always do. Every time we put a candidate in, we're going to go to the launch and event. That is where you want to go. Please remember that. Maybe make a note of it. Most of the other things are not important. Anytime you want to send out paperwork, you always have to click launch and event. So I'll click on that. Once I do, it's going to take me to the next screen. Again, if you watch what I'm going to do here, you're going to do the same thing every time, so just make it a habit. So once you click launch an event, it takes you to this screen. You're going to select onboarding. Same thing every time. And then you're going to select create a new employee. Makes no difference if the person worked here yesterday and now you're rehiring them again because they quit yesterday. Doesn't matter. Always select create new employee. Hit continue. So now you'll notice that my screen here is loading, and it's a little slow today, but you'll notice here that we're on step 1 of 3. So that's important because it tells you you're going to have to go through 3 pages of information before you're completely done. So make sure you are on step 3 of 3 prior to clicking finish or save or any of that good stuff. Okay, this screen is very, very simple. There's only, even though there are lots of fields here to fill in, we don't use any of those here when we're hiring an agent, okay? The only thing that you're going to use is first name, last name, and email address. And I'm just making something up right here. Okay. Now once you add those 3 fields, then you're just going to click in the login button, and the system is automatically going to populate that field with the first name dot last name. I'll say this with a caveat: if you ever enter a common name like Bob Smith or something like that, and we've already hired a Bob Smith, once you get to the end of this process and try to complete, it's going to say something like username is already taken, please select something else. Don't go in and change the name. Just go back to the login ID, and then maybe you'll make it like Tom Reynolds or T Reynolds or whatever. You just need to alter that in some way. So that's it. Also, this guy's name might be Thomas Reynolds. You know him as Tom. That's okay too, because when he goes in and fills out his information, he's going to have to put his name as he wants it on his tax document, so the system will change it anyway. Alright, so to review, just first name, last name, email address, and then you click over here and that will input for you. It will auto-generate a password. You do not have to do that. And it will also force your candidate to change the password once they log in. Okay, I want to warn you against putting in a hire date right here or anything like that. You don't need it. You just fill out the ones that we've just showed you. Scroll to the bottom, and now again we're on step 1 of 3, so we're just going to hit the green button. Green means go. Configure onboarding event. So as that loads up, we will notice here that this is another screen, and the first thing we'll notice is step 2 of 3. So again, we're not quite through. We need to make sure you finish all 3 steps. These are going to do the same most every single time. So I'm going to selecting a location. So we'll just select San Francisco, California. We are going to, and you will select your district. We are also going to go to department, and this is the same every single time. It's always going to be all departments. And lastly, you'll go in and select employee type. 999 times out of 1,000, it's going to be independent contractor comp. There is a very rare situation where you will use the manual comp, but it's so rare we're not even going to deal with it in this particular video because it's happened 3 or 4 times in the past, so it's not even worth dealing with. So anyway, you're going to put independent contractor comp. Okay. Now on the start date, this really isn't used at HQ, but it's probably important for your own edification that you put the correct date of when they'll begin their training. So I'm just going to put that date here as the 4th. Okay, even though that's not probably going to be the hire date, and the hire date is set in Searchlight anyway, which you'll see in a different video, the start date will help you organize your candidates, especially if you have a really great month and you're hiring like 10 people. So, all right, as manager, this is a field that they require us to fill in, but it really is not pertinent to anything we're trying to do. So there's only like 3 or 4 names in here. It does not matter which one you pick. So just close your eyes and pick one. Okay, I'll just pick the first one on the list. So like I said, it does not matter. The HR coordinator is the same. Is a little different. It does matter here because you want to pick your name out. So again, I'm going to hit the select button, and when you hit these select buttons and you see this field right here, never type in anything there. Just always hit the submit. Button. And that's it, and that'll pull down a drop-down list of everybody that's in the system. Now what you want to do here is try to find your name. If this is the first time that you're using the system and you do not see your name, that means that you need to be added to the system. Again, contact your HR representative. Now when you're on here, you can pick out your own name. I'll just go pick out my name. And if you are adding a candidate for the first time, and you don't see your name, just pick your broker's name for the time being so you can get the candidate in and then you can worry about getting logged on later. Okay, so that's it. I've selected everything that I needed to select. Now I'm going to continue because I'm still only on step 2 of 3. I'll continue here. As we're waiting for the field to update, you'll see now that we are on step 3 of 3. I'm just going to verify I've got the right location. I'm going to verify my name is correct here. Everything looks good. And now I'm going to finish and save. And that's it. Once you've done that, the system will enter in the information and you're good to go. Now see, when it does that, for whatever reason, it dumps me out to find an employee field. So I'm just going to go back to the home screen and I'll see my new candidate has been entered right there. Now as they continue to fill out the paperwork, you will see what percentage they are completed. If it just so happens that one day that you scheduled them to set up paperwork and they got 50% of the way done but they didn't complete it, you might want to contact them the next day saying, Hey Tom, I just wanted to contact you. It shows you're 50% done. Did you get in there? Did you see everything that you needed to see? Tom may think he was done and he just didn't click a right button or something to make him go to the next level. So make sure you're doing that. Also, best practice is always, always, always schedule a time where the candidate is going to fill out the information. It only takes about 20, 30 minutes, so make sure the candidate tells you, I'm going to do it tonight at 6 o'clock, or I'm going to do it tonight at 6:30, something like that. And if they don't, follow up with them. It's a very important task that agents are able to do this because real estate is a very paperwork intensive field, so if they're having trouble doing this, then maybe they'll have trouble filling out contracts. You don't know, but you want to make sure you emphasize the importance of it to the candidate.